I would not suggest that we are a startup, but a little bit of a startup mentality would be fine. So for us currently, it's extremely important to think a little bit more outside in instead of inside out. And for that, you need also people who not work. You know, if you have 40 hours you get paid, you need 40 hours to do your job, we have a problem. Why? Because there's no time to dream. There's no time to daydream. That was an Audi guy, probably, who started a wave. But I'm dead serious, I tell you, because, you know, if you do not have 80% of your time, you know, doing your job, there's no 20% time to think. There's no time to discuss with your employees, you know, and think if you're on the right way. There's no time for a guy running a company or running a department to discuss ideas. There's no time, 5%, 10% of the time, to put your feet up your desk and think if you're still on the right path. And, you know, we discuss a lot of trends, but we seldom discuss the insights coming from those trends because there's no time. In Audi, we believe at Vorsprung. I don't know, there's a lot of Germans here, so everybody understands Vorsprung. But we discuss and communicate Vorsprung also on a global perspective. It means, in the end, you know, having an advantage. You know, and to be very clear, we lost a little bit track. You know, we lost a bit of track. You know, in earlier days, if you came up with a technology solution, it was defendable. You know, we live in a time, there's a very special time. When I was still at school, and that's a long time ago, in Wharton or Harvard or in Bradford or INSEAD, wherever I went, you know, there was always discussion about competitive advantages, and we discussed a lot of them. But, you know, we live now in a time, 2018, where almost everything is copyable. You know, if you have an electric engine or whatever, it doesn't take too much time to copy it. But what is not copyable is having the right people, is having the right competence, and having the right culture. Those are two things that make a company special, and that is something that is not very easily copyable. So for everybody at Audi, you know, let's work on getting more competence in. Let's work on the right culture. So curiosity is extremely important. You have to be courageous, you have to go your own way, you have to be determined, you have to be self-confident. And self-confidence is extremely important, I tell you. You know, if you want to be successful in life, currently, you have to be fast. And you want to be fast, you have to have simple processes. If you want to have simple processes, they are created by people that have self-confidence. So do the things I have to do, where I get my margin, where I get my success, is that reflected in my organization? I need new voices, okay? And I need an open market for ideas, so I have to give you guys, the Audi guys, the time to get ideas on the table and discuss it. I need an open market for capital and talent. People should start experimenting. Asking permission is really something difficult, so ask forgiveness. Scale up, something very simple. In Germany, we tend to go with a business case to a CFO, and then, you know, 2 years later, somebody says, no, doesn't work. And we need actually not, say, give people money for selling cars. Perhaps we should give people money for learning. I see people getting money for getting great ideas. Give people money for encouraging each other, helping others to get things done. That is something we should work on at Audi, to my opinion. This was actually a part of a speech, Citizenship in a Republic, delivered at Sorbonne. Was Theodore Roosevelt, you know. And it's called Man in the Arena. And I want everything at Audi to read this carefully. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credits belong to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marked by dust and sweat and blood, who strives violently, who makes mistakes, who come short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of the high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never know victory or defeat. Isn't that great? Huh? Remember that. Huh? So, I would say to all the Audi guys and non-Audi guys, lead the revolution and help the CFO and help this company. Thank you very much. Okay?